what nerve innervates this muscle? Gabby here from bootcamp.com, and here we're looking at a dissection along the posterior aspect of the anterior thoracic cage or the anterior thoracic wall. Just to orient ourselves so you know exactly what we're looking at here. So this is superior. We're going to find the clavicle, both collarbones on either side. So what we've done here is we've cut along the clavicle, we've cut along the sternum here and here, and we've also cut along the ribs so we could actually remove the anterior thoracic cage so we can see all the structures that lie deep with it, such as the lungs and the heart. Now, what you're looking at here is the posterior surface of the anterior thoracic wall. So I want you to imagine that we've taken that anterior chest wall out and we've flipped it over so we can see the back side or the deep side. So we can see some structures that lie directly on that posterior surface of the thoracic wall. We're going to be able to see the internal thoracic artery right here and here as well. And then running adjacent to it, we're going to be able to find the internal thoracic vein. So these are going to be running within the internal aspects of the thorax. We can see some small branches here that end up emerging or branching from that internal thoracic artery. These are actually going to be the anterior intercostal arteries that will travel within the intercostal spaces in between the ribs to go and supply the muscles and the skin that are found in that region. So speaking of muscles, I want us to direct our attention to this area here that is found in between the ribs. So these are going to be the intercostal spaces where that anterior intercostal artery is going to travel. And like I said, it was going to go supply some muscles that are found there. And one of these muscles include the internal intercostal muscle, which we can see in between the ribs within all of these sections here. So we can see them there and we could also see them here. But also running on that posterior surface of the anterior thoracic cage is also going to be the transversus thoracis muscle. And the transversus thoracis muscle will originate on portions of the sternum, such as the xiphoid process, and then will eventually travel upwards where it will go and insert along ribs 2 to 6. So as you can imagine, when the transversus thoracis muscle contracts, it's going to help us depress the ribs. And by depressing the ribs, it allows us to decrease the volume of the thoracic cage and allow exhalation to occur. Now, this muscle, along with the internal and innermost intercostal muscles, really assist with that forced exhalation by depressing the ribs. So because most of these muscles are found in very close proximity to the intercostal spaces, they are going to receive their motor innervation from the intercostal nerves. And remember when I said that we have the anterior intercostal arteries that are traveling within that intercostal space? Well, those intercostal nerves will also be traveling within that intercostal space adjacent to it. And by traveling through it, it can provide innervation to the muscles that are found there as well as the skin. So in this case, if we return to our question, so which nerve innervates the transversus thoracis muscle? The answer should be intercostal nerve.